All right, everybody, welcome to Off the Water with Bayou Coast Kayak Fishing Club. President of the club, Josh Thompson. I'm going to take over for Sean Ristanis tonight. Sean and his family moved into a new home this past weekend, so he's taking a break, spending some time with his family. Congratulations to the Ristanis family. Hope you enjoy the new home. The show is in safe hands tonight. We got a good crowd. Myself, Ben Day, our new IT guy. He's spent some time in Golden Meadow there, hanging out on the levee. We have Chad Stoulig. If you look behind Chad, he's got something to present to us tonight. I think everybody's going to be a little excited about this. Welcome, Chad. And then Danny Campagno, BCKFC member's been doing some serious pre-fishing for what was the upcoming Trout Challenge. So he's going to share some stuff with us and talk about his trips, and we'll have some information to talk about on Trout Challenge being canceled and how we move forward from there. It's a lot of confusion in the world right now, but we're going to get through it. So bear with us. Hope we have a good episode tonight. Thanks for joining. How's it going, Ben Day?
Going pretty good. It's as best as we can hope for in these troubling times. But you just take one day at a time, and that's about all we can do.
That's right. And our sponsors for the club, these are a lot of the small business companies. We talk about the companies that, restaurants are to-go service only. They shut the casinos down. A lot of facilities are not operating with the rules of, I think, mandated that no crowds of 50 or more, recommended 10 or less. I don't know, it changes every 5 hours, so I'm not sure where we're at right now.
It's changed a lot. I think it's still at 10.
It's still at 10? Okay.
I think so.
Down every day.
But back to our club sponsors, a lot of these are small companies, and they're going to need everyone's support through this time. If you're going to spend money to do our sport, kayak fishing, visit some of our sponsors, see what they have. Try to help those folks out if you're going to spend money. They've helped our club out for over 15 years. Some of these companies have been with us. Backpackers, one of them. These aren't corporations. These are small companies, family owned. They depend on these operations for their livelihood. So let's take care of them if we're going to do anything. I think Ben's got a picture up of our current sponsors who we have, but you guys know who they are. If you visit the Facebook page or you're at our tournaments, you see who these companies are. So let's support them through this time. They're going to need it. They've been there for us, so it's time for us to be there for them. All right, so we've had Dan took a trip. Dan Rodbell, one of our assistant tournament director too, board member for the club. He's taken a trip over to Golden Meadow recently, and we're getting ready for Trout Challenge, so everybody was trying to get down to that area and see if the trout had moved in, what the pattern was, how the water temperature was, finding where they were congregating at. So Dana took a trip down to Golden Meadow, and Ben, I think you got a little video clip showing.
Yes. It's just a 60-second time lapse if you've never been to Golden Meadow before, and it's just the launch. And it's, if you've never been, out of all the places, it can be pretty confusing. There's just this unbelievable maze, and you can get lost in it. And I don't know if it's just me, but my phone just will not work in the maze. Like, no, it won't tell me where north is. I actually have to pull out like the compass app on my phone to actually figure out. When I first was there, I don't know if it's just like a dead zone or what, but
triangle going on.
Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's tough. Everything looks the same.
What better place to get wrong?
Yeah, Golden Meadow's got a lot of man-made canals in it, and You got the levee to the north. You go out west. You got Catfish Lake, and in between all of that is just a maze of canals and marsh. And one of my most favorite places to fish. That February March time frame. Probably my personal best trout out of a kayak was caught in Golden Meadow up towards. Well, I'm not going to tell you that. But it was the first day of February 1st. I caught a 24-inch, 5-pound trout out of my kayak and caught it on a inline spinnerbait in the grass, about 4 foot of water. The guys fishing with me that day, I had that old aluminum net with the green netting, the aluminum handle.
Yeah.
That your grandpa had in the boat when you were 10. So that's the net I had with me, and the guys are screaming. They see it's a big trout. Get your net, and we struggled for a few seconds. I quit breathing for a couple minutes. We got it in the boat, and I love Golden Meadow. So many memories in there. Limits of trout, limits of redfish. Catching a limit of redfish in under 45 minutes probably. Just a phenomenal place. So, Golden Meadow is going to be hot coming up. Leeville, anywhere down Highway 1, anywhere in South Louisiana is going to get hot pretty quick. So hopefully everybody can get out there and do a lot of fishing soon. Ben, you going to try to get out and do some fishing this week?
Yeah, I'm hoping that the weather will be better and I'll be able to fish this weekend. I'm definitely want to fish Saturday, but it said it was a chance of rain, but I might get out there anyway and just do it.
Yeah, wear your sunscreen. So Sunday, a few of us went and I got a little bit too much sun. Didn't have any sunscreen with me. That was my mistake. It will definitely be with me next time. I got
sunburnt.
Yeah. Get the Amber Romance too, because the gnats are out. It's crazy.
The gnats are definitely coming back and with a vengeance. The buffs, you pretty much have to have a buff or you're just going to be eating them all day. Yeah,
buffs are a good thing, and we're actually looking at possibly having a buff sponsor here real soon. So
what? Now that would
pretty
be
cool stuff coming. Hopefully in the next couple weeks, maybe next episode of this, we can possibly show a prototype of what we're going to have and what'll be available to the club. It's really cool stuff.
That's exciting.
Looking forward to that. So, wanted to talk about coronavirus and how it's affected the club a little bit. Don't want to be Debbie Downer, but we had to cancel Trout Challenge for this weekend. Based on what's going on. I have family that's in the medical profession. We have members that are in the medical profession. Just listening to them, listening to what our government officials are saying. It's a serious thing. We need to take it serious. We need to protect our family members and friends, and we have plenty of time to do the things that we want to do, but let's not get crazy with this thing. So we did cancel Trout. Well, we postponed Trout Challenge. We didn't cancel it. We're gonna do it at a later time. We're trying to run through some logistics of what needs to happen. I think there's going to be an Outcast tournament this weekend. Some of the members are going to put together. It'll be a CPR tournament, so we don't have a gathering of people, in one place. So for Trout Challenge, we were going to meet at the Golden Meadow Public Park right there by the launch. So we had 60 anglers signed up for the event. That exceeded the mandated groups of 50 or more. We recognized at the time that there was an issue. We went ahead and took care of the issue, but we're not telling anybody to stop your daily lives. We can't do that. We're not the police. We have a responsibility as a club, though, to protect our members and not put them in a situation where they could be exposed to anything that we know about. So there's going to be a CPR event. You go out and you do your fishing, you catch your fish, you submit them through, I think they use Attorney X. which is a really cool thing, something that we're looking into for possible CPR tournaments in the future. I don't know if any of you guys have used it. I know on the bass tournaments, we've had a lot of guys that's been going to the Hobie Bass Opens, and the BASS has their tournament series now. That they're using this platform. So we've been in discussions with those guys at Tourney X. We're looking into all of it. There's going to be a trial run on this Outcast tournament. So if y'all do that, take that opportunity, or if you get out and you're fishing, take that opportunity to learn how to take pictures on your measuring boards with the fish there. Maybe there's not so much on the line, so you're not as nervous, and if the fish jumps in the water, it jumps in the water. Take those opportunities and learn how to do that, because that is something we're going to be doing in the future, and it's really cool. It's going to be great for everything. Look forward to doing that.
Yeah, I've never used it before. I've always thought it was a really cool idea. I followed several of the tournaments for earlier in the year. And it was really cool. I mean, you can just follow it on your phone, and you can, there's a digital live well, so it stores all your fish. And I mean, it's really cool for family and friends that might not know a lot about fishing. They could just follow, and it's simple. It's like, first, second, third place.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, how long have we been following like Mike Iaconelli and Kevin Van Dam and watching what their bags are in the Bassmasters and different events, and you're able to keep up with that throughout the day. So it's really cool that when we have our big events, if we go to the CPR method, that we'll be able to do that, and family back home can kind of cheer us on and see what's going on throughout the day. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So I think Dan had put that up on Facebook. There's a link you can go sign up. They opened up a Tourney X link to do Outcast tournaments on. Outcast is not affiliated with the club. Board members don't have anything to do with that. The club doesn't have anything to do with it. It's just a group of anglers that are, hey, we want to do something. We want to get together. Here's the format. This is what we're doing. And it's a really good time. They've been doing them for several years. It's probably been 2, maybe 3 years since they've done one. So glad to see that, a group of guys putting that together and, wanting to get out and fish and make some fun of it. So we'll get off of that topic, coronavirus. We'll move on. Ben, you got a picture of the Dogrie Award?
Yes. Okay.
Let's tell everybody what the Dogrie is. I'm sure if you've been a club member for more than since before Fallen Tide, you've probably seen the Dogrie if you were at Fallen Tide. I was actually the recipient of the Dogrie Award at Paddlepalooza last year. Everybody remembers that we had the water spouts. I was one of the victims of the water spout, got thrown in the water that day, but it wasn't my first time. Trout Challenge last year, I had a group of guys with me, Sean Ristanis, Jason Bain, and Tyler Caldwell, and myself. The 4 of us were fishing somewhere over in St. Bernard Parish, and we were catching trout all day long. It was crazy. I think the 4 of us all ended up in the top 10 that day. We caught some phenomenal trout, and I had about a 2-pounder on, and it was probably my 10th fish, so that was what I needed to try to catch up with Sean that day. And I got a little excited and fell overboard, so there were some pictures of me with my inflatable life vest blown up. I don't think I gave you that one, Ben.
No, you didn't give me that one.
Resurface. But so the Dogrie Award is for somebody who does something maybe not the smartest tool in the box. So I was the recipient of that last year. But there was a group of us who went pre-fishing this past Sunday over at Bassans. So I don't know if any of you guys have fished over at Bassans. It's in Galliano on the 4-lane just north of Walmart. There used to be an old Chevron gas station there. The gas station's still there, but it's closed and abandoned. And the launch is, I think it's called Gator Cove now. There's
really?
alligator farm. Yeah, going back there, and it smells like an alligator farm going back there too. You have to go over the levee like at Golden Meadow, and you launch. And if you're in a kayak and you don't have too much equipment, you can park on the other side of the levee by the water. Or the big boats, they ask them to go back across the levee and park their trailers and stuff there. So there's 2 launches, one where they launch the boats, and there's kind of like I wouldn't call it a commando launch. It's old asphalt, maybe some gravel. It's a little muddy, but they can launch smaller john boats and stuff off of there too. So the kayaks go over there and launch, and there was 4 of us launching. And if you're on the, we'll call it the north side of that kayak launch, in between the kayak launch and the big boat launch, they have a spot where they park some crew boats. Mm-hmm. And so I get there first, and I'm launching and got everything in the water. And a guy, one of our club members, Kyle, I'm not sure what Kyle's last name is, he comes up, he starts unloading, and then Tyler Caldwell, everybody knows Tyler, and his dad come in, and they're launching, and they launch in between us. So we get everything ready, and we're just about ready we got our life jackets on, fixing to get in the kayaks and shove off. And Kyle was on that north side where the crew boats parked there too. So where his kayak was, he had about a 1-foot gap that he could stand on and get in his kayak or load it up. And he was getting ready to get in his kayak, and he took a step back, and there's a drop off there, about 4 feet deep.
4
so Kyle
foot?
goes to the water, and his inflatable life vest, poof, comes open.
No.
So we're standing right there, and it was a pretty scary fall. I was worried he was hurt, so we checked on him first and realized, he was okay. He just hurt his pride. So we got a chuckle out of that for about 30 minutes before we could, stop laughing. Hurt his pride a little bit. Tyler had an extra life jacket in his truck. Got that on him and got out and fished all day. We had a good time. Caught lots of fish. It was a pretty good day. So we're coming back to the launch, end of the day, and I pulled back up on that far south side of the launch because I didn't want to experience what Kyle experienced. And Kyle comes in. He's already loaded up in his truck, and Tyler and his dad come in. And Tyler Caldwell took the avenue that Kyle had taken that morning. So we picked at Kyle for a few seconds, and we were out of our kayaks, took our life jackets off, and told Tyler when he got back to his kayak, hey, don't pull a Kyle. Watch that drop off over there. And so he laughs, yeah, not going to do that. And 10 seconds later, pulling the rod out of the back of his kayak, I hear another sploosh. I look over, and Tyler's he's, I don't know, 6'3", 6'4". Tyler's a big boy, and he's neck deep in the water.
Oh my.
So, again, it looks like a scary fall, because he's probably to his waist in mud. We check on him, make sure he's okay, and, just tears coming out of our eyes at that point because we just told him, watch your step, and he steps right off in it. So Tyler Caldwell is currently leading the race for Dogry Award, Paddlepalooza 2020. So if you see Tyler, he's at home with his lovely wife tonight. He's taking a break from the episode. But if you see Tyler this weekend and you're fishing, tell him to watch his step. Make sure he's got his life jacket on. Luckily, he didn't have the inflatable on when he fell in. He had already taken it off, so he didn't blow his cartridge. Tell him you're thinking about him and watch his step. So, he was with us when I fell in the Trout Challenge last year, and he didn't even ask if I was okay. He just told me to look, and he's already got his camera back there, and he's filming me and taking pictures while I'm in the water with my inflatable blown up. So, Tyler,
you should have recorded them. That's when you should have brought your
I should have, if I'd had my GoPro on the kayak and would have been expecting it, but I'd already put my phone in my truck, and he was lucky. There's no photo or video evidence of the event, but it's the truth. It really happened. So the Dogre Award, when we get to Paddlepalooza, he's the front runner. So if anybody's got any stories of people doing stuff like that, I'm sure Tyler would appreciate them, so that maybe somebody will earn that award over him. Being a recipient, it's not fun. So let's get back on the topic of CPR for a few minutes.
All right.
We're gonna do some events moving forward. You got the CPR tournament coming up this weekend. So I think, Dan, you got a picture of Chuck. Chuck Bayham, one of our club members, he fished the Hobie Bass. The Bass tournament at Lake Fork this past weekend. I believe that's where they were at. Didn't do my research like Sean does. But it's a good example. And I know you guys see them on Facebook and wherever. These guys are posting pictures. They've got, their measuring boards, whether it's a catch, hog trough, check and stick is a good board. You got the IFA boards that a lot of people use for our events. So you have a token. Bassmasters has their token there. You can see kind of good example of how you do your fish. You see that I really like those catch boards, the color pattern. You got the bright orange with the white letters. It's really sharp looking, and that's easy for the judges to see those numbers. So if you got a check and stick, whatever, that's what you want to focus in on, is make sure that those numbers can be seen. Each one of these events, they tell you how to measure your fish for CPR. That the mouth has got to be closed. The color pattern. You got the bright orange with the white letters. Feedback there. Really sharp looking. That's easy. So if the mouth needs to be open or closed, or it doesn't matter, how to face the fish on the board, dorsal fins up, mouth up against the toe plate. If you have a token that you have to have in your picture, I think on Chuck's picture, there's a sticker on the toe plate of the board where the fish's mouth is. Some events have those stickers. They know that they give you that morning, and that's for that tournament for that day.
Oh, yeah, I see that. I didn't even notice that.
There's several indicators. I think IFA, you had to have your token, and you had to have your bait for one of the tournaments. Massey's, one of our sponsors, does a fish picks tournament throughout the year. So it's a year-long CPR, and there's certain things that you have to have on that picture when you submit it as well. You can go, I think that just ended for the year, so you could go on our BCKFC website in the forum. There's a thread in there for the Massey's Fish Picks tournament. You can see who the winners were. I'm not sure if they have any of the pictures in there. But eventually there will be a ceremony with Massey's to give away the prizes for that. We kind of help them put that on. It's their tournament, but we help promote it. And they give out some really cool prizes. So practice your CPR over the next few months. Take some pictures of your fish. Get some practice, because that is becoming something that we're going to do. I know you've all heard that, Falling Tide this year is going to be a qualifier for the Hobie World Championship for 2021. It's going to be down in Bridgeside in October. That's going to be a CPR tournament. We're still trying to get all the logistics worked out on that. But get that practice in and make sure you get that perfect picture. That way, when you're submitting your pictures, you don't lose a quarter of an inch. We've got the slam that we do for that tournament. So you've got a flounder, a trout, and a redfish, and we've got 250 about that typically fishes these bigger events. We may have more. A lot of out-of-state guys are showing interest into this because it is a Hobie World qualifier. But I think that tournament has proven throughout the years that you don't have to be that pro type fishermen to go fish those events and bring home that big prize. You're the Hobie Pro Angler, and you're going to get an opportunity to fish the Hobie World Championship. It's a really cool thing. So practice taking those pictures. Get your measuring device and start practicing. I think for that particular tournament, we're going to be limited to what measuring devices we use. As we progress towards what that tournament's going to be, we'll have that in the rules of what boards you can use. The Hobie Bass Open has a couple boards that they can use. They had the issue with the hog trough. I think that's been not really banned, but they can't use that currently. So there's the catch metal board that they're using. And I think there's maybe another board. I'm not 100% sure, but ask those questions to the guys who fish those tournaments. We'll have some updates on that later. But I guess the point here is get some practice doing the CPR. That's going to be a big thing, especially with the state of the world right now. If we can't hold weigh-ins where we bring in our fish, this is a good time to start practicing that. Take the pictures. We'll submit those. We can still have events maybe. We just won't gather up at weigh-ins for the foreseeable future. But it's a good thing to start practicing.
For sure. I agree.
Definitely.
All right. So we've talked about all that stuff long enough. Let's go to Danny. Danny's been pre-fishing, the Bassons area, so maybe Golden Meadow. Danny, what you been doing, man? Tell us about it.
Well, I'd never been to either place ever. So as soon as Minimalist ended, I started every opportunity I could just to go down there and look around, see what I might be able to find, and it's been getting hot over there. It's every trip I've gone, it's fishing even most of the time the same areas, but the trout quality was getting better, and I was figuring a lot of things out. I think had we had the tournament this weekend, or if anybody does do the catch, photo, and release and goes to Bassons or to Golden Meadow, somebody's going to catch some good fish out there, because they're definitely the bigger ones are moving in.
So I think for that tournament, they've kind of opened it up to Louisiana waters only, so that that might open it up to Lake Charles. You've got the
That's where
St. Bernard Parish area. But I agree with you. Yeah, the warmer water temperatures, I think those bigger trout are going to start showing up. Did you notice anything in Bassons that just really piqued your interest that would possibly be good for other parts of the state?
As far as, when we've been going, when we get out there, we're going to just fish the sulfur mine, and the problem with out there when we were going was the wind was just, if you could catch the sulfur mine when it's not as windy as it has been the last few weekends that we've gone. But as far as what we've been seeing, like I said, the first trip we went out there we caught couldn't stop catching trout. It was on anything you threw, but they were all 11 to 12 inches, and I knew that wasn't, you're never going to win an event with that. So the next weekend we went back, we fished some new areas, new spots, and we started catching some better fish. And like I said, most of the time we were in some of the same spots we were fishing before. So it's just, conditions were set up better. This past weekend was it was kind of crazy. The quality was definitely there, and that was before we had this good warm spell. So, like I said, somebody goes out there this weekend, somebody will get on some good fish.
Yeah, because we were out there Sunday, and I noticed the farther, and that's anywhere, the farther we got away from the bank, the water got pretty clean. The wind wasn't bad at all on Sunday. The sun was our enemy. It got pretty warm. I think it got 81, 82 down there Sunday. But yeah, the water was cleaner. But I think there was a lot of fresh water in the area too. I know we kind of laughed. We had saw a few alligators, out probably on the other side of the sulfur mines.
Really?
Yeah. And then once we got back in, right at the boat launch, there was a little small, probably 3 to 4 foot alligator, and I think was Tyler's biggest concern when he went swimming. Not sure why he did that, but the gator was probably 20 feet from him when he went swimming.
In 30 some odd years of fishing, we had last weekend, I was out there with another club member, Jeff Penning. Me and him travel and fish a lot of these tournaments together. And we were out there last weekend, and he actually snagged an alligator while jigging on the bottom.
Oh.
We were only in about 4 foot of water maybe, and he thought he was hung up. And he pedaled over there to it and was straight up and down, like trying to poke it, like he was trying to get it off of a tree, and it took off. So I watched him. I had my camera out ready, and we had no clue what it was until he finally got close enough and he pulled it up, and he said it was about 8 foot long.
Oh, wow.
But underwater. We've hooked them before by, throwing a buzz bait close by one and they snap at it. I've seen where one was laying on the bottom and then let him actually go over there and just poke at it with his rod, and it was wild. We'd never seen anything like that. So
probably got his adrenaline going a little bit.
Once he realized what it was, he backpedaled real slow and took his loss and cut his jig head off. But
as many times as I got hung up Sunday and was messing with it trying to get the hook, I never thought about snagging the alligator. I'd probably been in a bad situation if I'd done that.
After that was an alligator, I promise. And we did it that way, but no, we had a good time out there last week. I very rarely ever keep fish, and I decided last weekend, I said, you know what, I'm gonna bring some ice and we'll see what we can keep. And we put a quick limit together. And we threw back everything over about 16, 17 inches.
Oh, wow.
Everything we're trying to get like 12 to 13s.
That's the best eating.
We were taking them off. They were just it was crazy to see the trout quality and the quantity that came in there just from the weekend before, because I was out there the Sunday before, and I caught them in spots, but you'd catch 4 or 5 here and go to another spot and catch another 4 or 5. But it seemed like every place that had good moving, clean water with a little bait, you could sit there and just catch as many as you felt like catching.
Oh,
nice.
Doesn't get much better than that.
Weeded through until you found the bigger ones. And
that makes for a great day. We were catching them on top water. We had, voodoo shrimp under cork. We were jigging off the bottom.
Oh.
There wasn't a pattern really to it. They were biting whatever. We caught a lot of small fish, just a lot of small fish. And you get them to the side of the boat and just kind of shake them off the hook.
Yeah.
Just so you could get back out there and cast again, and constantly moving. Changing, from top water to dragging on the bottom under cork. They were just biting. Like you say, Danny, if somebody goes down there Sunday, Saturday, puts in the work, and you're going to catch some trout. They're there. There's a lot of them. You might have to work through the smaller ones, but it's pretty impressive to see the quality and quantity right now.
I also heard Grand Isle was heating up. I saw somewhere. I saw they were catching like huge, like 25-inch trout.
Wow.
No way. So I guess we need to go there. Chad, you do any trout fishing?
I did a little pre-fishing for Trout Challenge a couple weeks ago. First at Basons and then at Catfish Lake, just because relatively new to those areas, and just did a lot of exploring and just worked a few different baits over there, just kind of trying to feel out the areas. And I had pretty good success. I was able to, of course, weeding through the dinks, here and there, but got on some 15s and 16s in spots, and you kind of learn where the nicer ones may be schooling based on different conditions and things like that. But like Danny said, I mean, it's changing all the time, but it just seems to be ramping up over the past couple weeks from what I've just gathered from myself and people that were out there fishing with me and just seeing people online. So I was all excited for it, but at least we can still get out there, do CPR stuff, and just keep fishing. That's what it's about. So.
Yep, absolutely. There was a lot of boats out on Sunday. I don't know, Danny, if the trips you've made, if you've seen a lot of boats out there, but they were moving a lot. I think we saw maybe one boat that kind of sat in the same area for a little while. It's promising. I hope to get back out there this weekend. We'll see.
I saw a lot of jet skis. I didn't see a lot of people fishing. It was just like a summer party on the water. It was just like, tons of people on boats with music and jet skis going everywhere and racing around. But I didn't see many people fishing. I fished at a Golden Meadow Sunday. So.
And jet skis in Golden Meadow.
Yeah, well, I think I saw like 2 or 3 of them, or maybe it was the same guy that just went in circles.
Yeah,
it was like all through the day though, all throughout the day.
Maybe he was trout fishing too.
Yeah, but man, he could put a voodoo shrimp on a cork and just drag it behind.
Just roll around, huh?
Yeah.
Catch, photo, and release being open up to the entire state, it does throw so many wrenches into any plans that I had, because it's like I said, I really think that Trout Challenge being at Golden Meadow or Basinons would have been phenomenal, but if I had my choice of where I'm going to go, I don't know.
Come on, you're about to hand out that information? Don't do it. You'll have tons of guys following you.
You're about to get like 400 friend requests.
Yeah.
I do run a guide service, so it's advertisement as well. So
there you go. That small businessman needs your help. So I keep looking at Dad, and I see what's behind him, and I'm really kind of depressed that Trout Challenge isn't going to happen. Because what I see behind him, I think one of those would go great in my living room, or in my office here, or in work. That's beautiful. I need one of those, and I hope that we get to do Trout Challenge soon, because is that what we're going to get for Trout Challenge, Chad?
Yeah, I was just kind of getting excited about it up until the announcement, because I had put like a fair amount of work into them. But yeah, it's basically a CNC steel fish on a driftwood base that was made with a CNC plasma router. And I just got the idea for it. Actually, I was messing around at work, and I was using a couple of the programs that we use for design at the shop, and just got to messing around drawing and coming up with different stuff I could make, and started drawing fish. Started drawing a trout, a redfish, and seeing if I could make them into something I could cut out I thought it'd be cool, just like make stuff to hang on your wall and like little art stuff or stuff at your desk or whatever. And ended up showing them to Dan Rodbell, just like seeing what he thought of it. And he was like, man, that's crazy. And he's like, you think you could make other stuff out of it? And I was like, yeah, I've even thought about making like trophies before and stuff like that. So I go, I'll try to see what I can come up with. And I just messed with it, kept trying out different stuff until I landed on something that worked. And I thought, man, like it would be awesome to have something handmade and really different than like a regular plaque or something like that. Something that somebody would really like to have and put up in their house or hang on their wall or whatever. So yeah, just ended up with these, and got a couple more patterns of different species and things like that for possible other trophies, or if anybody would like one or wants some art for their camp or their office or something like that. I've got the stuff to make it, and just being creative with it, and pretty much anything I can draw, I can make. So just learning as I go, and yeah, so these will be hopefully you might not see them in person unless you actually win one because of the nature of the tournament now. But I'm really proud of them, and I hope the guys who win them really enjoy them, and I hope to do more stuff like this in the future. And yeah, just
they look
glad
great.
To do it.
Super.
Yeah, those things are beautiful.
Yeah, they look super awesome.
If you can't win one, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah. I'd like to win one first. We'll go that route first.
Yeah.
If the pattern follows how history has followed, then yeah, I'll have to buy one. But
yeah, I didn't expect to win one either. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna not count those chickens at all. So
those are phenomenal. I know there's going to be a lot of guys that either see this tonight or tomorrow, and they're going to see that. And who wouldn't want to fish Trout Challenge now when we do reschedule it to have the opportunity to win that? You know, that may be better than some of the cash prizes.
yeah.
Those are pretty sweet. And hopefully, you know, if we get some good feedback on that, you know, maybe you'll need a flounder pattern and
Yeah.
put a redfish, a trout, and a flounder all on the same one, and whoever the grand champion is could have that sitting in their office.
Yeah, I've just had a bunch of ideas for different things. So we'll see what I can come up with, and I'd love to do some more in the future, and just see where it goes, and that people enjoy it and think it's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't see anything but positive response coming from that. Those are really impressive, and we really appreciate you putting all of that together. I know that's a lot of work sitting behind you, but you'll have three anglers really proud to show those off. Shoot, even third place, that's great.
Yeah, I hope it goes well, and they really spark some excitement about the tournament, and just get everybody in there, and you know, still participate if you signed up before. You know, definitely don't get out of it, and you know, we'll have to adapt the way we do things, but you know, the leadership in the club has done a great job with adaptability, and I think that going forward we'll be okay. We're gonna get through it and keep fishing, keep having fun, and that's what it's all about.
Yep.
That's right. I appreciate those comments, because I'll tell everyone right now, our group of board members, these guys are we talk every day. You've got the most passionate, heartfelt people on this board, and they express that passion every day. You know, it's been really hard to have to postpone Trout Challenge, but you know, we're working right now trying to figure out how we're going to make this up. When's the appropriate time? Again, we don't want to put anybody in a situation that's unnecessary. But with the CPR, that enables us to do a few things. So with this Outcast tournament that a couple of our guys are putting on this weekend, you know, if that's something that runs pretty good and we can go pretty quickly, and the restrictions aren't so bad that we can't get out there and fish, you know, maybe Trout Challenge does become a CPR in the near future, and you know, there's ways that we can, you know, all get out there and do what we enjoy, and if that, you know, CPR tournament that's online using Tourney X or whatever gets everybody, you know, out fishing, we can do, you know, something similar to this for an award ceremony. And you know, maybe Chad, we get you and we get some hazmat suits and we go meet up in the Winn-Dixie parking lot and hand out these awards. to the guys who win. We can do that. That'd make for a great photo op.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Yeah, I would like to present them in person. Whoever wins, I'll stand 6 feet away from you and put it on the ground if you want.
yeah, that'd be fun. And I think it probably goes without saying, but Danny and Ben and myself hope to be those three standing there with us. That'd be great. No, definitely appreciate you doing that, and those things are beautiful. That's something new that we really haven't done before. For our big tournaments, we've always had the plaques, and we kind of went to the round disc plaques for first, second, and third on Paddlepalooza and Fallen Tide. We've done a few different things for the championship. We've got a championship belt, which is really cool.
That's awesome. It's really cool.
That's a good idea.
The belt is awesome. Sean come up with that idea. Sean's the brainchild for a lot of this stuff. He's so passionate about the club and making sure we've got stuff that's going to interest everyone. And that championship belt, I think, let's see, Chuck won it first, and then Steve Lassard won it, and then Brian Pham won it this year. So it's passed around a few times.
I think John Cena had it at one point.
What's that?
I think John Cena had it at one point. Huh?
John Cena had it at one point.
Definitely.
The most scary part is Sean had it at his house for a while before anybody won it. So we don't know what Sean did with it, but Chuck had it after that, so it's okay. Chuck Bayhand. But just lots of cool things, and this really steps it up a lot, from my personal opinion. That fish art, the driftwood is really it really stands out. I know they've had some the Saltwater Series boat tournament had some driftwood where they had metal redfish cut out on it a few years ago, and a friend of mine has one of those in his office, and it's just a beautiful looking trophy. That people come by and it's not a plaque. They say, "Whoa, where did you get that from? How did you get that?" So a good talking piece.
Definitely, yep. That's what I hope they are. Just something more than your average plaque or trophy or something like that. Something you really want to display and start a conversation about, maybe, and whatever else.
Excellent. Ben, any comments on Facebook?
We can. If anyone has any questions in the comment section, that would be a great time to ask. With all the craziness going on in the what's going to happen in the next month or so, or if anyone else, if Chad or Danny have anything to add, they want to add. We have another 10 minutes at least to kill.
Yeah. So who is going fishing this weekend?
I'm probably like 90% chance going fishing.
90% chance. That's for sure. Chad, you headed out?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a whirl for sure. I think the rain chances on both Saturday and Sunday are kind of similar. Gonna see how they play out, but I'm gonna do everything I can to get out there, just because I planned on fishing this weekend anyway, and I kind of need I feel like I need a mental respite from all this stuff going on anyway, and fishing's kind of my way of dealing with stress, especially. So I feel like I kind of need to do that, regardless of whether we have a tournament or not. I'm thinking about if I am able to go out doing the Outcast tournament that I believe Dan set up, which is a cool little way to have a little mini tournament, I guess, in anticipation of the Trout Challenge rescheduling. Yeah, definitely going to try to get out there this weekend for sure, and just do some fishing and try to get my mind off of all this stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think a lot of people need to do that. And probably most everybody watching us fishing is probably their way to do that. But there's a lot of people that do other things. It's definitely a good time to take that mental break. My wife is in the medical field. I've got kids that are in high school and about to graduate in college, so their world's a little rocked right now too. So I'll probably do a little family time this weekend if all goes well. We'll get to spend a little time together. If everybody's working or whatnot, then maybe I'll get a little fishing time in.
We have a
Yeah.
few questions.
Okay,
Let's see.
excellent.
Sean Rastanis wants to know when the deadline to sign up for the Outcast tournament is for this weekend.
So I'll let Dan answer that formally. Dan set up this Outcast tournament, but I believe in one of his messages today that I think as long as you pay before 6:30 in the morning, because it's a CPR, that you can do that. You can sign up that morning if you want, before the tournament starts.
Okay.
But, I'm gonna defer that to Dan. If he's watching, he can respond to that.
I believe I saw where Chuck Bayham was putting together a side pot too, and
That's right.
Calcutta.
Message him directly about the details for that.
Yeah, I want to say Chuck was saying that doing a $10 side pot, but Chuck will be handling that on the side. So yeah, check with Chuck Bayhan on that. Yeah, he can confirm that.
Let's see our next question. Tyler Caldwell wants to know if Chad, if you have a business page where we can see more of your art.
I do not yet, because honestly, this is the first thing I've output as far as fish related art or anything like that. So I may get something going here for sure, pending how interested people are in them. And like I said, I got some other designs in the works for other species and just other stuff in general. I've even thought about making some designs for some custom attachments for kayaks and stuff, like net holders and things like that I can make out of either aluminum or stuff or steel and seal it or something like that, and make stuff that you can just mount on any kind of the hardware that you use, and kind of just being creative with it, and who knows where it'll go. But yeah, just for now, if anybody wants anything or wants to discuss anything, they can just go to my Facebook Messenger and do it that way until if and when I get something set up. But yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I think you'll get a pretty good response out of that.
Yeah.
Sean needs that for his home office, just in case he doesn't win. Sean's gonna want to put something like that in his office.
Just like a consolation trophy.
Yeah, just to make him feel good. Anything else, Ben?
I don't see any more other questions. Danny, you have anything else to add?
I'm planning on fishing for sure. I put too much practice in. Like I said, it might not be down around LA1 much, but definitely trying to fish somewhere Saturday.
So you will be in the Outcast tournament Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never fished a CPR tournament, so that'd be a way of kind of breaking the ice to do that. So
yeah, no, that's definitely a good thing. If I'm not able to fish, go down Highway 1 or somewhere far Saturday, I'm really contemplating. These bass guys have got me intrigued, and I grew up bass fishing, so I live in Livingston Parish, and you got the Amite River, the Tickfall River, the Manchac, you got all these places right here. So if I can only get away for 3 or 4 hours, I may go try to catch some of those green trout. Give that a whirl.
That's the same thing. I tournament bass fish for 15 years before I ever bought a kayak and started doing these saltwater tournaments. So that bass fishing's been in my blood for the longest time, but I just took a break from it, and then it's like got into kayak fishing and I loved it, and started buying up a bunch of kayaks and doing this guide service thing, and it's been awesome. But it's like now they've got the whole bass line now, and it's like, well, I've got so much invested in the saltwater end of it. It's like
well, we're so blessed to where we live that we don't have monster bass, but you can go do a little bass fishing and redfish and trout, even all in the same hole. If you got time to go fish those areas, it's phenomenal. We're blessed.
Our cup runneth over.
Yep.
Let's see. Sean wants to know about the prizes for the CPR tournament.
The prizes for the CPR tournament. Boy, Sean's asking the hard questions. All right, so I'll let Dan give the official response to that, but I know Dan has a $75 prize pack. I think it's got some tackle and whatnot in it. I have not seen what Dan has in store. Dan's a phenomenal guy. He has more energy than all three of my teenage kids or adult kids put together. And so Dan's getting all of this together, and he's got a prize pack. I don't know what's in there, but Dan's got this, and he's running with it, and it seems like he's doing a great job. It's always nice to see these people step out and do things for the club members. That this isn't a club tournament, but they want to have something for the people. That, hey, if you want to do this and you want to get out, go do it. It's a great opportunity to get out and compete. We're all competitors. It's going to be a good time. But a $75 prize pack, Sean. Might have some golf in there. Might have some what's our popping cork that we get in our captain's bag? The Four Horsemen cork. It might have something like that in there. I'm not sure.
Brand
The Terry Fam Special is going to be in it.
The Terry Fan Special.
So, Sean, got any more questions, Ben?
No more questions. Oh wait, what? Chuck Bahan just said, "Are you allowed to use electronic devices?"
What does he mean by electronic devices?
Let's see.
This is an outcast tournament. I don't know what the rules are.
That's good. There's a lot of interest about it, though.
Yeah, I hope a lot of people go fish it.
I'm probably going to sign up either tonight or after this or in the morning.
So you're a lot more than 90% now.
Yeah, I'm pretty high. It's just like I said, I just take it one day at a time because it's madness these days.
But don't let it get you down. Let's have fun. Look at that sunset behind me. I think that's a sunset.
Yeah.
Those are great. Well, guys, we got about 2 minutes left. Look, I appreciate y'all coming on tonight. Chad, can't thank you enough for the artwork you're providing for Trout Challenge. Those are beautiful. Hopefully, we can get something like that for some of our other tournaments. I really like that kind of stuff for trophies. That appeals to me. Danny, thanks for coming on, telling us some of your fishing stories, kind of the areas, what's going on. I think a lot of people are going to get out over the next week or two and get in that social distancing and maybe only keep themselves close with a limited trout. So thanks for coming on and giving us that information. Ben, thanks for getting all of this together.
Yep, no problem. It's a pleasure.
I've enjoyed it. This is my first time hosting. Sean typically does this, and he does a great job. I hope I halfway filled his shoes. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. I've definitely enjoyed having all of you guys as company tonight, so appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me, man.
Enjoyed it.
Yep.
All right, that's it for tonight. So, hey guys, stay safe out there. Protect yourself, protect your families. We don't want to get anyone sick. We want everyone to be safe and healthy. So let's all work together and kind of do what we're asked to do and take care of that. So with that, we'll sign off for tonight. Thanks, everyone.
Night.
See you.